Ortiz's comments came during a recorded deposition as part of a lawsuit brought by Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, who is suing the Department of Homeland Security and other border agencies for failing to follow established federal immigration laws. Joining me now, Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody. AG Moody, it's great to have you on this morning. Tell us a little bit more about this deposition. These comments and his answers were really explosive, and you watch them and just realize what a tough situation we are in right now.
You know, I felt compelled to share this with the American public because you have an administration that is purposefully trying to deceive the American public. Mayorkas went in front of Congress and said that they were effectively handling the border, that it was secure. And then you had the White House come out just this week and say that people were not walking across the border, that wasn't happening. That was straight out of the White House press secretary's mouth. And that is what is occurring is a crisis. Yeah. It is absolutely the opposite of what they are trying to sell to the American people. And as someone who is, you know, working in court cases right now and uncovering the truth, I thought it was very important to share because this is becoming all too common where the White House has a game plan. And when something goes bad because of one of their policies, which is ever increasing and happening, they first blame someone else. You know, at first they tried to blame Trump for the border crisis, saying, you know, it was broken when they got it. Well, let me put that in perspective. In the last month of the Trump administration, they released 17 people into the American interior. You are looking now at hundreds of thousands of people that this Biden administration has let pour into our country unvetted. And so first they'll try and blame someone else, and then they deny and lie. It's not happening. Nothing to see here. You saw this with the recession. It's not a recession. I know we've defined that repeatedly for you over the years, but we're not in a recession. We have no inflation. There's no border crisis. And so I felt very compelled as the Attorney General dealing in a state that is dealing with the effects of this disastrous policy at the border to tell the truth. And I commend Chief Border Patrol Raul Ortiz for telling the truth because the American people need to hear it.
And I think there are a lot of people who commend you for taking this issue head on and really trying to shed, or expose what's happening at the border. We talk about the staggering numbers of people who are absolutely walking over while the White House press secretary says, no, they're not. We've watched them. We've seen them do it with our own eyes. Just tell me a little bit about your expectation of how this lawsuit plays out, the timeline, that kind of thing.
Well, we are actually in court pushing for more depositions now. I mean, people would never believe this, but not only are they completely ignoring public safety immigration laws to the detriment of the security of our nation, they are also building new programs that are unlawful to bring more people over here that are illegal. This administration is absolutely, no question, sacrificing the safety of our nation for politics. Yeah. That needs to be said. It needs to be said often and more than just on this network. I mean, I cannot believe this is not being discussed in more places. But let me just say to the Border Patrol agents that are trying to do your job and desperately wanting to follow the law and still coming to work every day, we see you, we thank you, we pray for you. Thank you for weathering this unlawful, ungrateful, undermining administration. Please keep up the great work for the American people.
That's a great point, and they are so frustrated by the situation that their hands are tied in doing their jobs. Todd?
AG Moody, great to chat with you. You know, when I interview you on my program, I like to put my JD hat on, justify the degree I got a gazillion years ago. I find this strategy extremely fascinating. As a state AG, how far can you push these depositions? In other words, how high up the federal chain as a state AG can you push this? Are we talking as far as Mayorkas?
Well, look, as you remember, I was one of the first people to come out and say he is being untruthful. As the head of Department of Homeland Security, he's being untruthful. And so, yes, as states, we have to push back. And in order to prove that they are acting unlawfully and that they are doing the exact opposite of what they're saying, we have to seek discovery in this litigation. And so we will continue to do that because in order to present our case effectively, we have to show that they are doing the opposite of what they're telling people. And so, we will continue to do that as Florida. I think you'll see other states do that. We also have a suit where we were we were claiming and we are proving that right away when they got in office, they stopped deporting people that were here illegally committing crimes against Americans, serious crimes. Even Obama did that. I mean, this is unprecedented. And I'll just point out the number of people, you know, when they say this isn't happening, the number of people that they've encountered in one fiscal year is unprecedented, historic. We've never seen numbers like this. It will dwarf the populations of so many states.
Yeah, it's going to have a lasting impact, no doubt, even what we've seen up till this point, damaging for the country. While I have you, AG Moody, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot personally attacking Texas Governor Greg Abbott for busing those illegal migrants to the Windy City. Watch this.
With these continued political stunts, Governor Abbott has confirmed what, unfortunately, many of us had already known, that he is a man without any morals, humanity, or shame.
Well, Abbott, of course, has bused 95 illegal migrants to Chicago, over 7,500 to Washington, D.C., over 1,900 to New York City. What do you make of all of this? These are sanctuary cities, self-declared, and yet they're saying, we don't want this in our backyard.
Well, I just told you, this is the playbook. It's their policies that are destroying that city. These radical Dems are destroying the city of Chicago. Businesses are fleeing there. You know where they're fleeing? To Florida. We lead the nation in the number of new businesses that are starting. It's incredible to me that they will continue to push policies that they know they are destructive. We've proven that. They have record high violent crime. You know, one of the cities that are leading the nation in the murder rate. You know, they say they're an open city. They're a sanctuary city. Okay. You know, once your policies start to fail and you destroy your city or your state, you know, accept responsibility. But you know what they're doing? Blame first Abbott, and soon she'll start denying and lying.
Right. Nope. That's exactly what happens. We've seen it time and time again. AJ Moody, we appreciate your time this morning. We appreciate the work that you're doing and really for breaking that down for us so we can understand where we are in this process. A lot of work to be done to unwind and undo the damage that we've seen thus far with illegal immigration. Good to see you. Thank you.
Great to be with you.